really, really need you down here. From all the pain that we going through, we know that you real, so can you fall through? Father, have mercy when we call on you.
How far you say you?
About 5 minutes. I raise my children up to say the same shit. Dear Lord, I hope you hear my prayers, because we really, really need you down here. From all the pain that we going through, we know that you real, so can you fall through? Father, have mercy when we call on you. But I just wanna fall on you, to show the devils you ain't nothing to play with. I raise my children up to say the same shit.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Come on, West.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Rocking this shit. Yeah. Go ahead. Look, I keep it low to the T. UPK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet. Got soldiers on deck, and my youngin' did a sweep. This a whole nother way. Tell him get the fuck off the beach. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Nigga, come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Man, this shit is too easy. I'm on gold, but they don't believe me. You know I'm winning with the team. Screaming Vinny, 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 Vij. Hear them devils screaming out bloody murder. I'm about to close the curtain. I'm on my grind, bitch, and work. Sorry, all them lies, it ain't working. Them niggas weak, they be churching. I'm a West nigga, that's for certain. If he cross the line, I'ma back up and I'ma hit his ass with this virus. And I come through 300 strong, 144 Leonidas. All my niggas, we eat. I'm in this bitch with the itis. Say, all y'all do the sweet. They all do the street. If a nigga made the wrong move, he make his ass out the league. He ain't one of us hit the league. He ain't one of us here breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas go retreat. Look, I keep it low to the T. UPK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet. Got soldiers on deck, and my youngin' did a sweep. This a whole nother wave. Tell him get the fuck off the beach. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Nigga, come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat.
You see this look that's on my face, bitch? I'm for real with it. I hit the streets, put on my cleats, was in the field with it. You soft as cotton, just an actor, Uncle Phil with it. And then my target's on the move, bitch, I can still hit it. Hey, I speak true cause it's necessary. Gullah Jack revolutionary. Cold on them like January. Commander General is a visionary. Soul food, no sweets. Your preacher man, he's sweet. Matter of fact, he weak. It's wartime for peace. Think you hard, nigga, you ain't. Fuck with us, nigga, you can't. You smart cars, we takes. We form up in ranks. We body bag this rap shit. All black, no bright shit. Real life, no cap, bitch. Fall on them, that's cap shit.
I keep it low to the T. UPK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet. Got soldiers on deck, and my youngin' did a sweep. This a whole nother wave. Tell him get the fuck off the beach.
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So then you said that they put millions of my houses. Yes, you said, sir. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right. That's right.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog.
never expected to grow. Just also cool set in the road. That a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never a home, only a place of captivity, save facility, hating disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting. The trail of my tears is countless. Main fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Crack in the sky, nuclear missiles will make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be. Slavery for me, and let the whole world see that with them in the cage and safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash, get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog.
Look, ain't no remorse in my blood slump. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in this body, you fit the Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is served cold, I just hope they making oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in a world of mad shooters. Devils design fire for our babies to pass through it. And the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
Someday you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
All right, Shalom, Israel. This is the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. We've been established and teaching the truth since 1969. We're not affiliated with nobody. Yeah, so we're not affiliated with nobody. We can do business, we can do economics. You know, we might even come on someone else's platform. But as far as affiliation is concerned, we're not affiliated with nobody. If it's not of the ISUPK under Commander General Hunter, it is not of the Lord. So bear with me while I get everything focused and situated. Let me make sure the Facebook is up and running. Let me double check YouTube. Today I'm going to do a part 2 about how to save Israel's children, Israelite children, our children, because there's an attack out on our children. Meaning, like, there's powers that be, there's philosophies, there's doctrines that of people who want to take control of our babies. Let me get TikTok going on live. It's a lot here. All right, now we got TikTok up and running. All right, so Shalom Lord Christ, TikTok, we're up and running. So TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, everything's up and running. I had to just make sure I got everything situated. All right, so we TWAP now. So it's gonna do a part 2. I won't keep y'all too long. I just found out more and more information as I do more and more research about what's going on with our kids. About what's going on with society. And like I said, how can we save our children? There's an attack out by pushing it in the agenda. If the powers that be, or that alternative lifestyle, or the certain community of people, if they feel that it is natural why do they then insist on pushing it and shoving it down our throat? Meaning like shoving down like their lifestyles. Like what's the meaning behind you want to teach children about this lifestyle if it's a natural lifestyle? If it's a natural behavior and there's no influence about it, then why you feel the need to constantly push it down not only our children's throats but like adults' throats as well? I mean, like everywhere you turn, there's some type of representation. Everywhere you turn, it's like someone else wants to say that, hey, you can do this. Hey, you can be who you want to be. You can be free-spirited. So today I'm going to go into what they call trans age. Now, last week I mentioned the NAMBLA, the North American Association for Man and Boy Love. Today I'm going to go into like the trans age. I'm just going to read an article about it and the definition of it. And the reason why that's so important is because if you now can just change your age or identify as a certain age, who's to say you can now, by that logic, they now can just have slumber parties. A grown man or a grown woman can now have a slumber party with your small child, with your 5-year-old. Whether if you have a 5-year-old son or 6-year-old little girl, a grown man or a grown woman can now say, hey, even though they're 40 years of age, they now can say they identify as an 8-year-old. And they should be allowed to come to your slumber party. They should be allowed to hang out with your children and play with them on the playground and have sleepovers. You understand? Okay, so also if y'all got any questions, comments, or concerns or whatnot, just type them in the chat. You know what I'm saying, and I'll do my best to answer all your questions or respond to some of y'all comments as y'all may think of some as they come up. All right, you know what I'm saying. So evening to everybody. You know, it's another class of history we're gonna go into, and we'll just do like a general breakdown about what's going on amongst our children, what's going on in society. Like last week, I'm just doing a small recap about the Dalai Lama and how there's no uproar. There's no uproar over this 70-year-old man, 70-something, 70-plus man saying to a small child to suck on his tongue and to kiss him on the lips. And then after he received flack for it, he didn't want to say he don't want to apologize, and he didn't mean it to take it that way. Like we cannot, like last week I said, we cannot accept these type of apologies. It should be like, no, you're canceled forever. You know, where's the cancel culture to the Dalai Lama? You understand? All right. Like, where's the cancel culture to the Dalai Lama? Like, where's the cancel culture? Like, if the Ashkenazi or the Europeans can say, hey, if you said some quote unquote anti-Semitic and they can cancel you, then why can't? And if you say something that goes against the LGBTQ community, they can cancel you, then why can't the heterosexuals cancel everybody else? Why can't the Lord's chosen people cancel everybody else? So hold on, someone on here says, you guys been talking about this topic for a while and it's not productive, only shames to children. Like our job in the ISUPK is to talk about the crimes that happen to our children and bring it to the light. Anything that plagues our people, we're going to talk about. We will not be quiet. We will not sit around and like if someone was to, if you see quote unquote what they call black on black violence, they're going to talk about that every week. If you see child pedophilia and child molestation every week, you're going to talk about it every week. If you see about more and more wars and rumors of wars, we're going to talk about it. So all the things that plagues our people, we're going to talk about it because we're still not protecting our people. And Israelite School ISUPK, we go into these scriptures and we teach our people how can we save our children, and we teach our people like how, like the do's and don'ts, and give our people like a moral compass. You understand? So if you want to say is how does it shame the children if we're talking about protecting our children? So like Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, someone had put in the comments says that we're always talking about how to save our children. Hold on, what's on, baby? Hey, question, teacher.
Okay.
What is it?
I'm finished.
Okay, go ahead. All right, Salaki. So, like we always want to talk about how to save our children. Like there's a lot of filth and wickedness going on in the earth. So are you saying since there's wickedness going on in the earth, we shouldn't talk about it
We shouldn't bring it to light. We shouldn't gather ourselves together to defend like our communities. So what would you say to this cruising? Uh-huh. No, we have good self-control. All right, good. Well, this is what plagues black people in America, done by different societies. All right. All right. Bring you up. So, no, not Ish, just an Israelite. Ish means to be like. I'm just an Israelite. All right. By ethnicity, not through conversion. All right. All right. Now we're gonna go into the Torah. All right, we're gonna go into the Torah. All right. Here we go. So I'll just respond to a few comments. So trans age, for those of y'all who don't know, it is, let me just pull up the definition. You know, I had pulled this up earlier, and it can cause a conniption to you. You know what I'm saying? Like when you look into like what can really goes on inside of this world, especially in America. America, they say, has a lot of laws, and they do lock up people. Well, they do incarcerate a lot of people, and they do have a prison system where like they incarcerate more people of the earth. However, even though they got so many laws, they're also one of the most lawless lands there is. Like there is, when it comes to destruction of your own kind or yourself, then America is the land of the free, the land of the lawless, so forth and so on. All she do is create things that can, one, benefit you, then on the flip side, harm you at the same token. All right, so America can cause a conniption, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and pull up this trans age definition, all right? And it is something that is terrible, because a lot of our people who tunes in and watches, a lot of our people or people that's watching don't understand like what comes afterwards, and that's the main thing we got to look into. Not that old read between the lines kind of deal. You have to look into like if they legalize certain actions, don't think that actions stop there. Like what happens down the road, and if you allow someone to say they can now change their age, there's nothing stopping them from coming towards your children. I will want my little child to play amongst her peers. Like I don't want some 45-year-old coworker to say, hey, I now identify as a small little girl. I can want to play with your child. No. Like why are we even accepting or allowing this to happen? You understand? So we have to draw the line and say, you know what, this is enough. You know, went too far. We cannot consult with that. And someone else in the comments put on there, why don't I leave America? Blacks, Hispanics, and Americans, we are oppressed all over the earth. So if we was to leave America and go to Africa, we'll be oppressed over there. Or go to Europe, we'll be oppressed over there. Go to China, we'll be oppressed over there. So we have to establish our laws and our culture right here now, and versus like running from one hell to another. We still would be second class and third class citizens no matter what other country we go to, until we're able to build ourselves up. And then we can talk about why should we leave? We could talk about someone else leaving like our homeland. All right. And you said it only matters what God thinks. We're going to the Bible what God thinks. Do you think God likes child molestation for this cruise? Do you think God likes child molestation? That's the question to you. Sorry, my ancestors were poor people, and I'm trying to learn the history, and it's beyond bad. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they trying to take out the history. They're trying to even take out slavery out of history books. You know what I'm saying? So they don't want to be reminded of the horrors of what's descendants of Europeans did to Blacks, Hispanics, and Americans, and these here Americans. Yeah, so they do want to hide their horror that they've done, their crimes that they have done. All right, so I'm going to read this definition of trans age. And if y'all could in the comments, tell me your thoughts about this real quick. because this is going to be like a dialogue teaching class. I want to really dialogue with everybody to get their perspective, if they think that it only means nothing or it's something that's behind it. It says trans age, someone with an age identity that differs from their chronological age. Trans age people can be of any age and are not all younger than their chronological age. Trans age people may also fluctuate between ages, be multiple ages, or be no specific age. So, it says common experiences related to being trans age, including polarity, trauma, age regression, and age diaspora. Not all trans age people experience all or any of these specific things. The only requirement to be trans age is to feel a sincere incongruence between your age identity and your chronological age. Now, I want y'all to like dive into that. So, just dive into that based on that definition real quick. It says someone who can change between the age. Now, and I'm gonna get to the serious matter of it. On the light side of it, you know, I hear people saying like, you know, we all heard the term like 30 is the new 40. No, was it 40 is the new 20? No, 30 is the new 20. Whatever. How did the whole saying go? You know, 30 is the new 20. You know, they're trying to live like their younger days, and people want to say they're younger than what they really are. So we got people like that. That's not an attempt to be with small children. It's more of a saying like you're still spry, like you still can keep up with the younger generation, like those who are a little bit younger. They're trying to say like they're still cool, you're still hip. You understand? Like you're still in a mix of everything. Like you're still popular. When they say like 40 is the new 30. I think you know, I can say I don't really know who coined that term, but like we all have heard that. All right. So we all hear about these different terms of people saying, what's the new, this is the new 20, this is the new 30, this is the new 40. And that could be, and by definition, that could be a small portion of the trans age, like you're thinking you're younger than what you really are. But with the agenda of certain communities of people, there now are people who say they are much younger than that. Like they're not trying to be hip. They're not trying to still be amongst their peers. Because even if you say like 40 is the new 30, they still hang up with 40-year-olds and 30-year-olds. It's not like there's a big gap. You understand? But what's going on is, let me check these comments real quick. And bear with me while I just check the comments. All right. It's not like you're saying you are 40, but now you want to hang with 5-year-olds. All right. So, oh yeah, he did win against that. Salakia. All right, so what we gotta do is this. We gotta understand like that when you have a certain agenda, always look at like what our oppressors have done. Anytime they legalize something, there's always like a clause into that, where you always gotta think more into it. Like it's never what it actually seems. So we gotta look into like what actually happened. When you're dealing with trans age people, it's not because you think that you are young or you want to identify as a certain age. It's because you want to do something else. And the title of this class is How Can We Save Israel's Children or Kids Part 2. Because last week there's an attack out on our children, and we got to address these issues today. Like we gotta, if you're a so-called Black, Hispanic, or First Nation, we have to separate ourselves from society. We got to separate ourselves from America, and all her influences, whether it be America, whether it be over in Africa or Europe, China, who knows, Japan, Russia. We have to identify ourselves as who our people are and our own rules. Our rules come from the Bible. Our rules come from these records of the Bible, the Holy Bible. You understand? And we have to accept these laws and follow these laws. Like they're not hard to follow. It's actually, it might take a little adjustment based on your lifestyle or how wicked you could be. But like these lifestyles or these records, it teaches our people how to have like a moral compass, how to like be good to a brother. You understand? So we got to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. You know what I'm saying? And that's for the Old Testament, Apocrypha, and New. You understand? For those you want to read just the Torah, or you want to read the Apocrypha, or you want to read the New Testament. So we have to come back into our laws, statutes, commandments, and you can only find it in the Bible. You can find the laws in the Old Testament, and you also can find it, how we're supposed to treat one another in the New Testament and in the Apocrypha about what actually happened to our people. So with the trans age, I got an article I'm gonna bring out in just a second. In the article, it talks about a man who identifies as a small child. Now, the reason why I bring this up because we've all seen videos on social media, whether it be YouTube, the news outlets, whatever the case may be, about how our teachers are mistreating like our children, or our children are lashing out, being disrespectful towards teachers, how some child is always coming out saying it was touched. Like even those of that community, more often than not, if they're really honest with you, they'll tell you that when they was a child, they was touched in some capacity. But there was a lack of protection done by the parents, meaning like they did not allow the children to speak, or they felt peer pressure. There's a various different types of traumatizing factors that happen towards our children. But the point I'm bringing out is that we have to now put our foot down as those of us who stands with God's laws. And anybody that breaks God's laws, we have to stand against those. So whether it be the trans age, or whether it be the alternative lifestyle, whether it be to be selling narcotics, whether it be to be a person who fatalities people outside of self-defense, we have to speak and stand up against those who seek to harm us, who seek to pressure or force themselves upon our people. You understand? Let me check some of these comments. Yeah, we most definitely need the Old and New Testament. It was not, I don't know who you is. It was probably when ISUPK. We're not affiliated with any other group. You understand? This is Israelite culture. It didn't come from Rome. Brother Godfrey on Sunday has debunked Israelite doctrine. He has not. No one has debunked this Bible. All right. I am a real dude. My bloodline text letter says info. Oh, boo. Oh, Lord. All right. Any books you recommend you research? Books pertaining to what? For the Cremaster cycle. All right. Books any books you recommend to research. Pertaining to what? You know what I'm saying? Just if you give me a subject matter, I can tell you some decent books to get or to read. I tell you what, get the Russian icons for the Cremaster cycle. Get the Russian icon. Research that one. That'll be a good one. You understand? So, all right. So we can get back into it. You can do our mission. You can do Babylon the 10th book 2. Yeah, you can get that book, The Russian Icons. It shows you how there were black people ruled over in Europe, and that's called during the Dark Ages. And then when other races of people came into power, I guess you could say those Europeans or Caucasian people, when they came into power, it's called the Renaissance era. And then they start to whitewash the old judges of old, and they start to whitewash the old prophets and judges of the Bible. They start to paint them a different complexion, a different hue, to make it look like their people and not how they actually were. So you're gonna get the Russian icon book. It is expensive. I'm not sure how your funds are. I've seen one book cost as much as $3,000. The cheapest I've seen to date was maybe like about like 900. You know, that unless you can find something, you know what I'm saying? So that's not convoluted. All right. And another book, you can get Babylon the 10th book 2. You can do Arthur Kessler, The 13th Tribe. Another one is a real good one. You can get it on Amazon. It's like $20. It's called "We Came from the East" by Captain Katazar. That's a good book. So there's tons of books, and that explain. They did all the research about how the Jews migrated from over east to the Western Hemisphere. Bro, what a convoluted message on religion. Convoluted is no, we're not misunderstanding. All right. So you had a question about Romans 29:2. What's your question on Romans 29:2? All right. So type in your question, what you had to ask about Romans 29:2, and then I'll answer your question. All right. So we're gonna keep going on with the class. So let me just go over just a few scriptures. I might need to go back about molestation, about what's happening to our kids. All right. Well, let's just see what Romans 29:2 says. All right. Let's go to Romans 29:2 to ask, have I read 29:2? Let's go ahead and read it. I mean, if I did read, what's your question on it? There is no. You sure you typed it in right? There is no Romans 29:2. You sure you typed it in right? Or you mean Romans 9:2? Or you mean Romans 2? And there's no Romans 29th chapter, all right? There's no 29th chapter in Romans. So you might want to just double check you put it in right. All right? And yes, I'm reading right out the Bible. No, please. Let's see here. Yeah, there's no 29th chapter. Someone wants to be a wise ass. All right, so we're gonna keep going on with the class. So we're gonna just do a little recap. Then we're gonna go Deuteronomy 12:31. All right, for just prove it. All right, just prove it according to the Bible what an Israelite is. All right, so we're dealing with trans age. Like this is an attack on our people, and this is how you defend against it. One, you gotta look into like the history of like sacrificing like I choose to other gods. You gotta look into the customs of other cultures of people and what they does to small children. A lot of times you can figure out why they do it. And today's time now they're trying to get us to be desensitized to it. I mean, like make us accustomed to like you seeing same sex, you seeing man and boy and child, man, boy and girl, man, boy and man and boy, man and girl, even man and beast. So you're seeing a lot of stuff come out now. Pretty soon, it's going to be legal for the child pornography. With the way the new DSM is coming out saying they release certain information by accident. When you see organizations like NAMBLA, the North American Association for Man and Boy Love, these are different organizations that say they prefer small children. These are different organizations that say they want small children. All right. Like I said, just prove it, all right? All right, just prove it. All right, you gave a scripture, and you know what I'm saying? I went to Romans. You might have typed it in wrong. There's no 29th chapter in Romans. All right. I can prove it through curses. How about this? How about you prove that they are according to the Bible? It's like, you didn't require them to prove who they are, but the moment someone else who differs from them, you want to question their true identity as if they were wrong. Hold on one second. What's up?
I'm still hungry.
Finish eating over there. Salakia. All right, yes, I'm reading out the King James Bible. All right, so we can get into Deuteronomy 12 and 31. This is a small recap. And we're going to get into what actually happens and how we're supposed to protect our children and how we're not supposed to make sacrifices. How like our children should be like a prized possession. You know what I'm saying? Our children should be something we should protect because they are the future. Like they're the ones who's going to inherit what you have to give and what you leave behind. So therefore, they are the ones you're supposed to train up, teach them the way they're supposed to go. If you let them fall by the wayside, this is what will happen to you. Like we can lose our children. Our children will fall victim to like different ideologies, different philosophies, different doctrines, different behaviors, different lifestyles that does not coincide with the Bible. You understand? No. All right, let's see what we got in here. You ain't proved that. All right, they come from the Ottoman Empire. All right. Okay. All right. If you look online. I can prove it to you best. You can do it. Go to the book of Deuteronomy 28 and 68. I fit the curses. You know what I'm saying? How about that? We fit the curses. Deuteronomy 28 and 68. All right. So, Deuteronomy 12 and 31 real quick. I'm going to read this real quick for y'all. And we're going to just go over about what's actually happening. So I can do on 12 and 31. Let's see. Deuteronomy 12 and 31. Thou shalt not do so unto the Lord thy God, for every abomination to the Lord, which he hateth, have they done unto their gods, for even their sons and daughters they have burnt the fire to their gods. So what this talking about is like when you submit yourself to like different ideologies, different philosophies. And when we accept alternative lifestyles, and when we accept certain behaviors, when we accept the trans age to be a thing, this is what's going to happen to our people. Like our people is going to continue to be robbed. Our people are going to continue to be touched, and we're going to see more and more of our babies being touched, and there'll be no justice served. It's because we allow some grown of age man or woman to say they now can identify as a small child. You understand? So when you're dealing with trans age, we have to understand, we have to have a cutoff point. The cutoff point is this: you have to stop all wickedness. Like you have to separate yourself and do the research about how can you protect your children. And one way to protect your children is separation. You understand? So if we go into, I'm gonna go pull up this article real quick, and it's an article about a trans age pedophilia defends himself by claiming that he was trapped in a 9-year-old's body. So when you accept trans age, you by proxy you accept child pedophilia, and there's no way around it. Like even to separate ourselves entirely, if we got somebody saying that, if we got somebody saying that 40 is new 30, and they might say it to be jokingly, we have to like stop them right in their tracks and say, you know what? Now 40 is 40. It ain't no new 30. We don't allow or accept any trans age going on. If you're 40, you're 40. Now you might say you feel young because you might be so healthy or so spry. You might feel young, but 40 is 40. There is no 40 to new 30. There is no, you try to say you're in the prime of your years. No, 40 is 40. And we are not going to allow, we can no longer allow trans age. We can no longer allow people to say that you're not of your age. You understand? Because if you allow someone to say 40 is new 30, that's a decade apart. Then who's to say they can't go 2 decades apart, or 3 decades, or 4, or 5? You understand? So we cannot allow someone to say that they can change their age or they can identify as something else. So we got to learn how to cut off everything. We got to learn how to separate ourselves entirely from those who seek to change their behaviors, those who seek to change their age, change their philosophy, change what they identify as. All right, all right. Who gives a damn who they pity and laugh at? It's gonna come a time where like we'll be in rulership. You understand? For this Cope guy, what's your nationality? No, I did not convert to Judaism. I'm an Israelite. All right. So I'm finna finish reading on this article. All right. And it says, trans-age pedophile defends himself by claiming he was trapped in a 9-year-old's body. All right. By Jonathan Van Maren. It says, ideas have consequences that they might. As a matter of fact, let me show YouTube and everybody else. Oh, this filthy piece of garbage. All right, let me pull this up for YouTube. Hopefully they can see this filthy piece of garbage. And bear with me 1 second, TikTok. I'll show y'all in just a second. I'll show y'all in just a second. Hopefully they can see that. Let me double check. So, dealing with hopefully they can see it. Slap me 1 second. I'm gonna try to push this closer. All right, so it might be a little hard to see. I'll try to zoom in. It says trans-age pedophile defends himself by claiming. Let me see. Can y'all read that? It says trans-age pedophile defends himself by claiming to be he's trapped a 9-year-old body, and there's that filthy piece of garbage. All right, and I'm just gonna read a little bit on the article. This filthy piece of garbage said he's now trapped in a 9-year-old's body. It says ideas have consequences. That might be cliche, but it's about time our culture remember that transgender phenomenon, which has already spawned ludicrously, seriously conversations about whether or not trans race is a thing. With white lady Rachel Dawson claiming to be black and trans age, having some insist that they are not the age they actually are. This sort of thing used to be called midlife crisis. But now it means that a Toronto guy named Paul in his 50s actually managed to find an adoptive parent. After abandoning his wife and 7 kids, he now lives as a 6-year-old girl named Stephanie. And the media treated Paul's delusion with sympathy, if not support. So that who you just saw was the man named Stephanie. Salakia. And I finished reading a little more on the article. So that was Stephanie, all right? So that was Stephanie. So when we accept this trans age, this is what you're accepting. When you say 30s, when you say 40s the new 30, this is what you're accepting. We got to cut off everything. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go to Jeremiah 10:2 real quick. Like, this is something that's not of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Like, this is a learned behavior. You understand? Oh, shucks. I'm gonna use something. Now shut me down on TikTok. All right, no words. I'll be in there in a second, baby girl.
I'm so hungry, but I don't know what to eat.
I'll get in there in a second, all right?
Okay.
Play with your toys.
I will.
All right, so Salakia, I got shut down from the top. TikTok. So just make sure everything that's still up and running. And they don't like you to speak the truth. God forbid you say something. God forbid you tell the truth about something. You understand? So bear with me 1 second to make sure everything else still up and running. All right, so that's all right. So YouTube up, Facebook is up. All right. So we're finna finish reading. So Jeremiah 10:2. We have to look at it. We have to look at the attack on our children to say that what we're gonna have to do. One, if you hear about people that accept it, or if your schools accept it, then you have the right to ask that your child not be around such said teacher or such said student. You have the right to remove your child from such said school. You understand? So we have to look at society, and we're gonna have to just start making like practical decisions. We're gonna start making sound decisions, because there is a culture that will demify you if you are opposed to their lifestyle. Like us in the Israel School of ISUPK, we are opposed to what goes against the Bible. We like what God likes, and we hate and despise what God hates and despises. You understand? Like, we're here to teach our people that we have our own culture, we have our own lifestyle that we're supposed to adhere to. And trans age is unacceptable. Any lifestyle that goes against the Bible is unacceptable, whether you want to get high or sell drugs or live alternative lifestyle or interracial dating. Anything that goes against the Bible, we are against. And I'm going to go to Jeremiah 10:2. So this is for the trans age community, people. You understand? Which is trans age is literally, it's just child pedophilia. It says, "Thus said the Lord, learn not the way of the heathens." Like, we seeing today that there's a particular race of people who's leading the charge. Now, there are all races that's participating, but there's one in particular that is leading the charge. It says, "Learn not the way of the heathens." You see that man that says he's now a little girl, we cannot accept that. We should keep that away from us. If you got a school that accepts that, we got to start dictating now to our schools, say, hey, this is what we don't want in our schools. If they want to have a school for trans age people, let them get their own school. You understand? Like, if they can say they're trans age, then we can now, I wouldn't say to do this, but it's kind of like a tick for tack, and it's very politicking, but we shouldn't even be affiliated or associated with the politics. But we should now say, our children, saying we might have to say your body's too big for it to be a 5-year-old. You understand? We should now say, like, hey, well, we're the parents, and you might identify as a 5-year-old, but based on your dental records, it has to say that you're a 5-year-old. Then we got to start checking your teeth. Like, we got to make them go through like exams. If they identify, they have to be that physically as well. We have to get past the mental side of it. We got to get past it saying like they identify what they think they are. Now we have to start making them say, okay, prove it scientifically through DNA, through how you can determine age, through like the bone structure, through like your teeth. Sometimes dentists can determine like by your teeth how old you are. We got to start making them go through like tests to say, if you're going to identify as a small child, okay, we're going to prove it. Show us the tests. Show us your dental records. Show us your checkups. Show us your birth certificate from when you were born. And we'll determine if you 5-year-olds. We're no longer going to go by what you identify as. We're going to go by what you physically are. You understand? And that's one of the ways we can protect our children from those who seek to harm our children, or those who seek to undermine parents by saying you are a small child when you are not. And then we got to figure out, where else do you go? We got to not support your business if we could. Let's just say you are, I don't know, you're an accountant and you work for such and such company. we cannot patronize that company. We got to make you like, we got to separate ourselves from you. Like, we have to separate ourselves for those who seek to harm our children. That not only goes towards the trans age people, it should go towards any lifestyle or behaviors or actions that goes against the Bible. Any lawbreakers. We should got to say, you know what? We just got to separate ourselves from it. You understand? We just can't rock with you. I know that sounds easier said than done. I know some people are like, well, you know, some people in the world, okay, you might understand certain breaking the law. Well, all of us breaking the law. And we have to start drawing the line. We have to start saying no. And we should get used to saying no. We should make it our mission to say no for the rest of the year. So, you know, we can't allow this. You trans age, and now we can't allow that. You want to do drags to pre-K, no, we can't allow that either. You know, like any lifestyle that goes against what God says, we have to be just opposed to it. We have to be against it. Because if we don't, this is what's going to happen every time. We're going to always be at the bottom. We're going to always lose. We'll be losing our children. And if we lose our children, we'll have nothing left in this earth. Like, we will be the last generation to populate the earth. And now you're going to have just, you know, alternative lifestyle kids and trans age people, and, you know what I'm saying, and LGBTQIA, and you're going to have all your drug dealers and drug users, and, you know, stuff like that, and, you know, the changing of the genders and so forth and so on. Like, when will we learn to protect our children? You understand? Like, that's the main lesson we have to tell ourselves or ask ourselves. Where is the line that you draw? Even if you are, now here's the kicker side to it. I know some people who are part of that alternative lifestyle, they are against trans age. Like, they still have some small desire to protect their children. Like, they don't want grown women, you know what I'm saying, hanging with their small child. They don't want grown men hanging with their small child. Like, they don't want a lot of that to come towards them. So even those are part of that LGBTQIA plus community or alternative lifestyle, some of them are still against trans age. And what I would say to the members of that alternative lifestyle, you are still part of the problem. You understand? Because you can say you identify as something else, or you like a different gender, or you identify as a different gender, you're part of the problem. The moment you allow one, it's like it opens up a can of disease, a can of bugs, a can of worms. It is like a domino effect. It's kind of like, it's never one just domino. It's never one just bang. So it went from being accepting of their alternative lifestyle to now they need laws. Now you canceling people out. Now they releasing more and more identifiers and how people choose to live their life. Like, this is something that's done by those, I would say, powers that be. You could say white supremacy. You could say the government. This is just an evil, wicked place. You understand? And it's not, and it does not stop with the alternative lifestyle. Like, this is something that goes on and on and on. You understand? And I got just a couple of scriptures. You know what I'm saying? So let's go to let me go to the book of Obadiah 1:13. Let's see if that's what I want. I'm going to Obadiah 1:13. But yeah, if y'all got any questions, just type it in. Like, we got to start dialogue. We got to start, like, speaking to people, getting, like, their perspective, like what input they think they could use, or how we can protect our children. Because if, like I said, if we don't protect our children, nobody will. Like, our children will be destroyed. All right. So this is just something that our oppressor used to do to us when we was down and out. This is the book of Obadiah, the first chapter, the one and only chapter, but verse 13. Thou shouldst not have entered into the gate of my people. Like y'all should have left the Lord's chosen people alone. Like how dare y'all come over here, come to the Lord's chosen people and destroy the Lord's chosen people. Like there's our oppressor, Esau has destroyed a lot of races, right? Or intervened and dealt with a lot of races. But at some point he did kind of like at least tone back a bit. He at least like left some of them alone. Whether it be like the Chinese, whether it be some of the Africans. I mean, he still got a foot on his neck, but like he still allowed them to have like their language. Like, you know, some of them countries in Africa, they still know who they are. They still have like their language, you understand? So it says, thou shalt not enter into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Like when we was down and out, you came and destroyed the Lord's chosen people. All right. Yea, thou shouldst not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity. So like they looked at us while we was down, and they came in to further destroy us while we was down. Nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. Like y'all put hands on us. Like we was already had took a whooping. You understand? Like y'all just came to like pummel us to dust. Like y'all came to destroy us most. And even if you look at our people today, we don't have a language. We don't have our own country. We don't have our own land. Our economics we give to all the other nations of people. And then we already got drugs in our community. We already got documentaries that glorifies a lifestyle that's detrimental towards our people. And yet we're down and out and we are destroyed. And then you come here with alternative lifestyles. And then you come here with pro-choice. It's their body, their rules, their choice. And then you come with the trans age. Like our children are already destroyed, our people are already destroyed, and now you want to come with more. You understand? So this is what happened to our people. Like we always got someone else trying to destroy our people. All right. So it says, and you have laid hands on us. Like they have laid hands on us. Like they hunt our steps. You understand? I might have to go to Lamentations about that. Like we're already being slain in our own streets. You know what I'm saying? By enemies and by our kinsmen. You understand? So this is something the Lord is talking about what's going to happen to our people. Now, why I mentioned the alternative lifestyle or trans age is because this is just another agenda to like attack us. Like you attack us with food, you attack us with drugs, you attack us with water, you attack us with alternative lifestyle. Now you're attacking our children more. Like our oppressor will never have enough. Our oppressor will always seek to destroy us. Our oppressor will always just do something that's going to harm the Lord's chosen people. And that's what I brought out in that article about the trans age. You got men or women that can change their identity or their age. You understand? Here's another thing why I didn't understand. Like if society is going to allow someone to change their gender about what they identify as, but not based on science, and then they do the same thing with the trans age, and not go based on science and prove. Why they have a problem with blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation people saying they are the Israelites? You know, so why can't we identify as Israelites? Is that not our choice? When it comes to us, they want to make us prove it. They want to say that someone else is our people. The makeup proves that, but everyone else, they just say, oh, good for you. You're now woman of the year. You're not breastfeeding. You're now chest feeding. You're not a birthing mother. You're a birthing parent. Like they come with all these, they accept alternative lifestyles, but when it comes to us as blacks, Hispanics, and First Nations, we cannot say that we are the Israelites. We are the biblical Jews. We cannot identify as that. And ain't that a bunch of hypocrisy, a bunch of load of filthy crap. So I just wanted to bring out that when we have different agendas that come up, we have to separate ourselves. There are just a few articles you can also read. I'll send some more. I'll probably put some in the chat about how we can protect ourselves or what's coming to happen. It's always good to know what the earth is getting ready to do and how to try to prepare yourself. Those of us in the Israelite school of UPK, we already know to gather ourselves together. We already know that to start following these laws, statutes, and commandments. Like we have to read these book, our records, and keep them. We have to keep them with us, and we have to live our life through this Bible, through this book, through these records. And that's how we protect our children, by separating from our oppressors in that manner. Like separate from like his identifiers, or how he identifies in his doctrines and his way of life. Like that's how we protect ourselves, by saying, you know, we can't accept this. And I know that it's not just Blacks, Hispanics, and Americans that might disagree. It is other races of people that disagree. But for the point is, we only deal with the Lord's chosen people for this matter. And if we don't put our foot down, then we're gonna see more and more grown. You're gonna not only see drags come to school, you're gonna see pedophiles come to school. Now, if that's the case, if they identify as that, then you can no longer charge them for child pedophilia. You know, if they can identify as a small child and they can be that, then that right there takes away the laws against child molestation and child pedophilia. You understand? So we have to separate these wicked people that allow this. And also, for those of y'all who are inside in the world of politics, figure out what politician made this lawful, who was bought out, and boycott them and cancel them and their whole entire household. Like, don't do business with them. Separate yourselves from them. Like, if you want to cancel somebody, cancel the ones who put laws that allow this kind of wickedness to come up. That's if you are inside the world of politics. You understand? For those of us, if you are Black, Hispanic, Native American, our politician is the Lord. You know what I'm saying? We got to come on the side of the Lord. Follow these records, this Bible. And that's what we must follow. That's what we must keep. And that's how we're going to save our lives. That's how we're going to save our children. And that's how we can raise up the Lord's nation. You know what I'm saying? The 12 tribes of the house of Israel. All right. So let me go get one more scripture. We'll go to Revelation, the 21st chapter. I'm going to go at verse 4. Let's see if it's what I want. All right. So when we separate ourselves and we please the Most High, you know, He's going to wipe away our tears. You know, so He's going to wipe away our sorrow, all the pain and grief we had to endure amongst this wicked empire, amongst this wicked kingdom. So once we separate, then we can come back and say, you know what, this is the right lifestyle to live. This is how we should have been living all along. You understand? So this is the book of Revelations, the 21st chapter, verse 4. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. You know what I'm saying? You know, so we crying out loud in these streets. You know what I'm saying? We seeking the Most High. And there shall be no more death. You know what I'm saying? Neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what the Most High says is going to do for the Lord's chosen people. Like, there should be no more death, no more crying, no more child molestation, no more alternative lifestyle, no more the getting high and being raped and plundered and pillaged and robbed and stabbed. And, like, think of all of the wickedness and the filth that we had to live through, that we had to grow up on, or our parents grew up on, and all of the lying and the poisonous food that they give us, they charging for water, or us being robbed, like all the things that plagues the Lord's chosen people in various conditions, whether you consider it to be minor or a lot, minor or great, we're gonna get redeemed from all of it. You understand? And that's the whole mission of Israelite School UPK. Our mission is to teach and wake up the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and First Nation, teach our people their identity, to teach our people who their God is, how you're supposed to live your life. You understand? And we're going to protect our people. Like, we're going to put hedges around our people that protects us from the wickedness that comes up. Protect our people that from alternative lifestyle, the trans age. Like, the whole mission of me talking about this is trans age. Like, we got to, I mean, could you imagine like how sick that is? I just pray that, you know what I'm saying, none of us have to drop our kids off at school and we wonder why does that grown man have on a wig? Is this drags come to school? No, we can't allow that. But no, he got on a backpack. Is he going to school? You know what I'm saying? Like, I pray we don't have to, none of us is watching or listening, we have to go through any of this. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I pray we don't have to go through none of this. But when you allow alternative lifestyles, and this is just one of the next piece of the domino, you know, the trans age, this is extremely, extremely wicked. This is extremely vile. And we're gonna have to deal with this. You know what I'm saying? I pray you understand. If not, you're gonna have to get counsel. You understand? If you got some grown man or woman identifying as a child and they're in your school and they're now saying that they are the trans age community, they're now saying they are identified as this. Like, they should be taken to a mental psychiatric facility. You know what I'm saying? Like, we might have to go back to the old DSM. We're gonna have to say, you know, there's an agenda put out. There's another thing. We gotta look into the doctors that bring out the DSM. For those of you that don't know, the DSM is like the Bible Belt for like mental health. Like, it's like how they put on paper what's considered a mental health and its diagnosis and how to treat it and sometimes what good medicine and so forth and so on. All right, with the DSM. We're gonna have to look into like those doctors that put this in. And you know what you should do to them? You should cancel them too. Say, oh, you this such a doctor. We should find out where their practice is at and not even go there, not using none of that medicine. For anybody that's accepting this lifestyle, this trans age and alternative lifestyle, who makes it acceptable to put this around our children, we got to find out who they are and we must boycott them. We must boycott the ones who gave the say-so. Figure out who they are, mark them. This is such and such doctor of such and such. Yeah, mark them. They should get no support from our people. You shouldn't hire them. You shouldn't you know what I'm saying, patronize their business. We should separate ourselves from them. When they speak, we should speak back. When they talk, we should not listen. We should totally separate ourselves from them who seek to put these laws in that allow wicked men and women to harm not only our people, but our children as well, the ones who are not able to defend themselves. Or for those who are of age, like the weak, that need help, that needs defending. All right. So that's all I got on this class. I just had to bring out that article about trans age and the definition of that, because it's been going on for a few years, but as you know, they release something in a few years and they'll let it be out for a little while to get you used to it. And then you're gonna start seeing more and more of it. You're gonna start seeing more and more grown men and grown women identifying as a small child. They might have started with the 40 is the new 30 to get us to start to accept of you backtracking on your age. Because, you know, I've heard that growing up, it was just used as a joking term. But now it is serious. So you got somebody saying that, yeah, 30 is the new 20. No, your ass is 30. So lock you. You're 30. You ain't going to trans age over here. We don't accept that. You're 32, then you're 32. You understand? Stay your age. Stay your daggone age. Because if we allow you to say 30 is the new 20, then you got to allow that 50 piece of garbage, Stephanie, that pedophilia guy who abandoned his wife and children, to now say that he's now a 9-year-old girl. That's all in the same boat. Trans age identifies a different age. That's outside of your chronological age by definition. So we cannot accept that. We cannot accept you. If you're 30, you're 30. If you're 58, you're 58. We ain't trying to hear that. If you're the Lord's chosen people, we just don't really identify with birthdays so much no way. We really just didn't keep track of it. Yeah, it's just another day, another year. You understand? So, we know we're accustomed in America to count your birthdays and know how old you are exactly. But amongst the children of Israel, birthdays just wasn't a thing for us. We really didn't just keep track of it, you know, something like that. You understand? We knew our age, but we just like, it wasn't like some point like, oh, yeah, it's my 50th birthday. I made it to age 50. No, we just didn't care. You know, they might say they 30-something. Who the hell cares? Who will? Hey, I'll be there in a little bit.
Okay.
All right. So, with that, I'm going to end the class. I just want to make sure I brought out that trans age and show the seriousness of it and what we got to do to protect our people. Because if someone don't, the ISUPK will. Like, we are priests and prophets of the Israelite School of UPK under Commander Gina Hanna, and we're going to always speak to things that traumatize our people. We're going to always speak to those who harm our people, whether it be our people or a heathen, whether it be our people or a Gentile. We're going to speak about all the crimes that's committed against the Lord's chosen people, foreign and domestic, you understand? All right, so if you are a Black, Hispanic, or First Nation, I'm going to go ahead and salute you to the men. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Barakatah, and to the sisters. Yahweh, Shema, Alatah, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah. And with that, I say shalom.
All right, this is Rooted Speech, man. We got Captain Tower in the building. Yeah. So, Cap, man, let us know where you from.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all having me, man, on Rooted Speech, man. I'm ready down right quick,
don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart, one West when I finish, one West when I start. Big shine, big glow. I be gone till November, let my bitch know. I'm back by the winter, bubbling like Crisco. I need my pockets all swollen like a lymph node. Talking out the side of your neck, get you a slit throat. I stay broke, don't care if I got $1 million. Looking down on me, I put your brains on the ceiling. Fuck kicking down the door, we bout to demo the building. Fake cats all in these groups, I wonder who ya. Shoot ya off your pulpit, hallelujah. 4-pound gun youngin' down like it's a cougar. On my feet, combat boots, or is it Puma? Words spreading around about me, none of it rumor. All truth, very big facts, very large caliber on very small gaps. Compact pistols, ladders, and all that. About to throw the switch in the Nina for rapid fire. Got the 5.7 equipped with the magnifier. Boom shakalaka equipped with the rim rocker. We ain't really got beef, yeah, Ramak would have been shot ya. The best rhymer since Pac and Big Papa. Big llama, big juice, I'm Big Jamba. Quarter tank of gas, I ride like a big timer. No informer, no sweat, not insigner. My conglomerate wreck like King Konga. No Asian pun me, no chink in armor. Remain calm throughout pain that bring drama. Stay focused on things that bring commas. Took all pressure, applied and made diamonds. Stayed true, kept shit pure, my name honored. Paid all dues and debts and kept promise. Make sure you show respect, pay homage. That I'm one West bred, one West vetted, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, one West when I start. I said I've been one West bred, one West vetted, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, one West when I start. I'm the hottest on the market, don't make me start it. I'ma pull up in a Spider-Man and Peter Parker. I remember days was trapping out the apartment. Now one West about put me up in a starship. About to fly the friendly skies in this bitch. Spit the truth on the corners, I lie a little bit. I'm a stand-up nigga, I die before I switch. Down, no we up, I'm cool with who I with. I'ma be war the king and stay dangerous. Hold down the biz and fam, remain blameless. Now rappers drippy with styles we made famous. First with studs and spikes in any city. Designing charge a stack for shit that can't fit me. Had fringes on my coattail way before Jimmy. Funny how the general ain't even see a penny. Better show respect, get smoked like a chimney. Keep my name out your mouth, don't even think it. Send a real Smith at y'all, no Jada Pinkett. Both ball heads, my grain a $1.50. Lost my man to the game, that pain that stuck with me. Had to find a cheat code to the street though, cause them niggas getting foul, shoot you like a free throw. Keep spitting acid like a Mino, and the nigga be the nicest with a mean flow. Try to ride my wave, you gon' need a speedboat. I'm hot like 100 degrees in a peacoat. Scarf in the sweater, I embark every letter. It's UPK, not a part, but together. Homie, I've been one West bred, One West Betty, One West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, One West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, One West when I start. One West bread, One West Betty, One West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, One West in my